right, so once we were referring to a little bit over the recap for the objectives that we have previously already said, I would just want to specifically re-emphasize and focus on a couple of them, and in order to give everyone this insight over what exactly are we going to do, as well as how is this course very unique and what you're going to read and learn and study and write out. All of the inputs as well as the output in this particular class is going to absolutely help you in the long run. So the very first thing, right? A lot of people have heard about doing researches, right? But one of the most important things, and also I personally find it very interesting because it seems to be quite a misconception, is that people feel like, oh, research is easy. I just go online and Google something. But everyone, when it comes down to the academic realm, right, this is number one that I'm going to put down. When it comes down to the academic realm, right, number one that we have to really focus on is the fact that this is not going to be superficial and thin and easy to debunk. So the very first thing, right, in research, okay, we must understand very thoroughly over the depths that we need, over the integrity, okay, that sometimes people have probably heard about this word, right? Academic integrity from other situations, but do we really know what it means, right? And do we really know what it encompasses when we're trying to do and conduct such research? And most importantly, how do we really carry this out, right? So that becomes something that is very interesting and leaves a lot of room for us to go ahead and talk more about. So in this case, the research, right, we need depth, we need integrity, and we also need autonomy. Okay, so what does this word mean? People might take a look at this term and you get to see auto out of it, right? And what does auto mean again? This is self-driven, right? So autonomy refers to you are in control over what you would like to research. So this is something that the class, right, theory of knowledge, as we know its name, as we know what this is primarily looking for, it's going to set difference from your regular reading or writing classes. So that makes it very interesting. And that, of course, also makes it very unique. So I hope everybody is following so far. So this autonomy, right, refers to self-driven, which you are the pacemaker of your own research, and you decide, what do I take a look at? What do I focus on? And how do I make it happen? So a lot of those big, broad, vague, maybe so far, right, questions, we're gonna take a look at them very specifically, one by one, when we continue to engage and when we continue to progress in the following sessions. All right, so that is something I would like everybody to be reminded, okay? And this is something that we're gonna re-emphasize for now. And moving on, okay, number two, what is very, well, once again, interesting about this class is that people are going to read through so many different various genres, types, okay, content of the passages right here. So I'm just gonna put that here. I'm gonna say variety, okay, of passage selection, which of course, to a certain extent, right, that all refers to being academic, and right, I'm gonna put this in quote unquote technical. Right, so what does technical mean? It's something very specifically and in depth discovered or probed in a certain area of study, which we might never heard about it before. For example, NASA has developed this new astrological or astronomical certain technology, and they would like to have maybe 5 more years working on a particular project. We might never heard of that project, right? We might not all be interested in NASA or space, right? Or something that's very general, vague, or just it's out of your interest or you've never heard about it before. However, everyone, this is where the academic passages and academic readings are becoming very interesting. And it's so critical that everyone will together with me learn in all of the classes in the future of how do we still grasp what is important, right, in a particular format of writing that we might not be so familiar with, or the content in it just so difficult. There's so many terminologies, right? Or there's so many things that I just haven't heard about before. Then how do you still make sure that you get what you need in order to write something over it, right? So that whole thing is new because you're not only reading it, let's say sentence by sentence, try to understand every single word within, but you read with a specific focus. And that's where the mindset seems to be pretty logical. The mindset seems to be pretty easy and straightforward, yet the actual practice is another story, something else, which we're going to have a great chance of taking a look at it together in the short future. All right. And just mention a couple of them, right, just to get everybody interested. So in the variety as well as the range of what we already selected from the passages, we got, let's say, human nature related articles, which is pretty interesting, right? This is social science related, and we have natural science related. For example, the NASA, right, instance that we just talked about kind of belong to this category. But other than that, right, we have scientific, let's say, labs or theory, right, related articles. We can take a look at politics, right? We could take a look at social economical statuses. We can take a look at equity, right, freedom, social issues, education, healthcare, or phenomenons, or things that are very current and trending right now for a specific reason. For example, pandemic, right? Because Corona is still here. Therefore, this is always going to be issue, let's say, or a particular topic with highly debatable contents fulfilled into it. That's why we would like to specifically pay more emphasis as well as attention to those as well. So those things, everyone, and there's something interesting to talk about is that they are always adjustable, meaning we can change them, we can modify them, and we can customize, right? It's possible for us to always bring some new things or new articles, right? Maybe newspaper articles, maybe opinionated commentary from maybe New York Times or other newspaper platforms or other, let's say, research or academic journal, right, related platforms. You can always bring them in order to engage, right, and as well as to, let's say, broaden a little bit of our vision and to understand more of how we read with this very specific focus that we were talking about just now. All right, so this is something to look forward to, and let's move on, right? Something else that I would like to talk about very quickly, right, it would be how interesting, right, well, overly speaking, what is expected when everybody is about to write something. And for this, there's a very unique distinction that we can go ahead and make is that does everybody become aware of the fact that anything related to theory of knowledge, anything related to TOK is not necessarily predestined, or there's no predisposition over how exactly we make our topics, because as I kind of mentioned before, everybody is your own pacemaker and everyone decides what you want to do, what you would like to specifically focus on, and how exactly you want to bring that, right, come into being on your own. So that being said, right, I'm going to specifically put this down on a board, and I encourage everybody to do this together with me. I'm going to go ahead and put down essays, all right, with prompt versus an independent research, okay, based paper. All right, everyone. So first of all, let me underline something specific. Essays with prompt is this predisposition, which means they give you a topic, right? For example, persuasive essay that probably all of us here have heard about it, right? And you guys have experience writing about it on your own as well. Those are given a topic, or at least you have a particular direction that is already there for you to follow. They're going to give you leads, they're going to give you hints, and you just grasp on them and carry further of your own researches, and you grasp, right, whatever that is becoming important and relevant to your topic, and you take it from there. However, everyone, this independent, I'm going to double underline this just to emphasize this importance, right? Independent research-based paper, meaning you are taking care of your topic from the beginning to the end, right? And here comes this important question. Do we know how do we find this direction, right? Do we know what is possible for us to probe and cut in, right, in this specific angle in order to dive deep enough to give out good arguments, right? So that might remind everybody of what you have learned before and what we have talked about before in terms of what makes strong arguments, right? What sets the difference between academic piece of work versus something that is more creative, something that is more free, something that is maybe a little bit more personalized. So with all of those things, everyone will have great chance in the future to talk further about them. And as said, right, every single class, we're going to try and bring in a new topic or something supplemented right on the side to help us gain further insights over how we read with this very specific focus. Okay, everyone, make sure to put those down on your notes, and then we're going to move on.